The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that Sheila Carter Sharp is overjoyed to have a relationship with her granddaughter. However, fans know that it's only a matter of time before Luna Nozawa tries to kill again. Could Sheila be forced to have the young villain arrested or even kill her for the greater good? Keep reading and let's explore this possibility. Fans know that Luna has had an obsessive-type personality since her debut. Over the time that the villain has been on the canvas, she has really shown just how determined she is to accomplish her goals. B&B fans saw how far she went to get Bill Spencer. For Luna, it didn't seem to matter what kind of relationship it was, either paternal or romantic. In the end, Luna couldn't have Bill in any way, though. Fans also saw how far Luna went to deal with Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Tom Starr, and Paul Hollis Hollister. While Luna does seem a tad obsessive about Will Spencer, her main focus right now seems to be on her bio dad, John Finn Finnegan. Then we have Sheila living in Los Angeles with Deacon Sharp. Sheila has been on her best behavior for a long time now. Unfortunately, it hasn't helped smooth things over with Steffi and Finn, including saving Kelly Spencer's life. However, when Luna approached Sheila, the two instantly clicked. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that while Sheila is spending a lot of time with Luna, she has to hide it from Deacon. The restaurant owner has a bad feeling about Luna. Deacon even said that after her pardoning. Deacon is the king of second chances and is a former felon himself. However, Deacon's gut is just screaming danger when it comes to Luna. Then, Deacon gave Sheila a choice. It's either Luna or him. The reformed villain said she chose Deacon, but then snuck around and got an apartment for Luna. At some point, Deacon will find out the truth. With Luna getting even more furious with Steffi for blocking a relationship with Finn, how long until she makes a bold move? With no one willing to give Luna the time of day, she's getting more pissed off. At one point, Luna could decide to get rid of Steffi again. However, if Sheila gets wind of this, she could be forced to take drastic action. Is it possible that Sheila saves Steffi from Luna, only to have to put her own granddaughter down? It would be devastating and heartbreaking for Sheila. However, we wonder if this would finally allow Steffi to give her mother-in-law a chance. Katie, bar the door. In Soaps.com's latest, the bold and the beautiful spoilers for Monday, May 26 through Friday, May 30, Luna quite literally takes on Elektra. Sheila slides into the unusual role of the voice of reason, and Carter pops a, if not the, question to Hope. And her answer? Keep reading, and we'll tell you all that we know so far about the embattled lovers' next step and more. Bold and beautiful spoilers for Monday, May 26. Buckle up. Deuce is Daphne's ride to the airport. Carter makes a grand gesture to Hope. Finn makes a request of Liam. Bold and beautiful spoilers for Tuesday, May 27. When Steffi champions Hope's happiness, Ridge and Brooke wonder why. Hope gives Carter an answer to his question. Finn and Liam share a rare, heartfelt moment. Bold and beautiful spoilers for Wednesday, May 28. Sheila advises against it, but Luna sends a lustful text to Will anyway. Sparks fly and tempers flare when Luna confronts Elektra, but Elektra's not backing down without a fight. Bold and beautiful spoilers for Thursday, May 29. Sheila breaks up the fight between Elektra and Luna. Ridge is hesitant when Brooke suggests that they throw Hope a party. Bold and beautiful spoilers for Friday, May 30. Sheila wants Luna to leave and not make the same mistakes she did. Luna offers Sheila a proposition. It's official. Get your calendars and mark this past week as the one in which Bold and Beautiful just completely stopped making sense. People were unnecessarily cruel. Decisions were made that defied logic and Brooke. Well, she did what Brooke does, which hasn't made sense in ages. Let's dive in, shall we? I can't help but have a sneaking suspicion that down the line, we're going to find out that when Daphne declared her feelings to Carter last week, they wound up in bed together. Despite the fact that it's kinda sorta cheating to reveal things to the audience after the fact, it can be an effective storytelling device. Speaking of Carter, I was dumbfounded by his end-of-week cruelty. As Daphne stood there declaring her love and basically pawing the hunk, he didn't stop her to say, listen, we need to talk." Instead, he let her go on and on to the point that I was embarrassed for her and angry with him. It certainly looks as if Bold and Beautiful is planning to send Daphne back to Paris. Next week's spoilers have the French beauty airport bound, complete with the return of Tom Arnold's captain Deuce Stevens. Because, I don't know, has someone out there been clamoring for more of Arnold's buffoonery? Anyone? Bueller? Given that this is all unfolding against major developments in Carter and Hope's relationship, I stand by my previous assertion that even if Daphne does leave town, it won't be for long, and she may not come back alone. The more Carter talked about his longtime desire to have a family, the brighter the writing on the wall became. Now that he's being given alternative treatment options, it seems safe to say that Liam isn't going to die. In other words, yup, they're telling the same story they told with Eric not terribly long ago. Rinse, lather, repeat. On the plus side, the guy finally traded that babushka for a downright comical bandage. I really want Bill to be involved in this storyline. His absence, on the canvas as a whole, is especially egregious given that last week, the network held a lovely bash to honor Don Diamond's 40 years on the CBS soaps. Longtime fans will remember that before stepping into Dollar Bill's loafers, the actor was the young and the restless gardener-turned-businessman Brad Carlton. I don't for a second understand why Hope would want to go back to Forrester Creations. I was glad to see that they at least played the awkwardness of her workplace reunion with Ridge, although I know I wasn't the only one who wanted to punch Ridge hard when he complimented Hope on her self-awareness. I mean, if Ridge talking about someone else's self-awareness doesn't merit a remix of Alanis Morissette's Ironic, I don't know what does. I like the idea of Steffi and Hope trying to put aside their differences for the sake of their families. But it would have been nice if they, as well as Ridge, had a conversation about what went down and why. Instead, Liam's death is, again, ironically, being treated as a cure-all that instantly heals all rifts. Where's the drama in that? Asterisk, what the heck was up with Zend, Electra, and Will going to Daphne to suggest she whip up a new perfume? One that smells like diamonds and rubies. On whose authority? Shouldn't they maybe? And I'm just spitballing. Check with the adults across the hall. Asterisk, anybody else find it odd that Hope didn't even hesitate for a nanosecond before telling Carter about Liam's condition. If I'd been asked to guess who would find out next, I'd have assumed either Steffi or Taylor would tell Ridge. Perhaps while explaining Hope's return to the company, which, it's worth noting, was a decision Steffi made without talking to her dad. Given that this entire show is nothing but talk, it's amazing how little people actually share with one another. Asterisk, based on Friday's final minutes, I guess we're supposed to be rooting for a Brooke/Ridge reunion, despite him and Taylor declaring their love only moments earlier. Given that I want better for both women, I guess I don't really have a horse in this decades-long race. What about you? At Forrester, Taylor tells Ridge she's not questioning anything about him or them. She understands the fanfare about him and Brooke, but that's work. I believe in the two of us, despite Brooke. He pulls her to him and gushes about her confident and radiant smile. It really doesn't bother her, him and Brooke on the runway. Taylor says it's business. She's happy the show was a hit, but it doesn't change what they have. You come home to me every night. They kiss. Ridge tells Taylor this is the self-assured woman he fell in love with before things got complicated. I kinda like you. I like you a lot. He tells her she's transformed his life since the day he met her. She showed him love doesn't have to be complicated or have drama. Taylor teases a little drama. Ridge ruminates about making love with abandon and growing old together. Taylor muses about how much they've been through together. They've grown and changed. Ridge grunts, older and wiser. Taylor says they've earned this. This is it, Ridge. Finally, this is our time. The best chapter of our lives. They kiss and embrace. In the design office, Brooke tells Hope she can't give up on Ridge. Hope can understand that given their breakup had to do with her taking the CEO position to convince Carter to give the company back. Brooke's glad Hope apologized to Ridge. Hope says life is too short, something she's been reminded of lately. If Ridge is her destiny, she wants that for her. Brooke wants that for her too. Hope beams. Actually, I already am. Brooke realizes that Hope is back with Carter and embraces her. She's thrilled. They sit and Brooke admits she was hoping for this. Hope says things have happened to steer her in the right direction. She was hurt by what he did, but she now understands the difficult position he was in. A friend recently reminded her how wonderful their relationship was before that. She and Carter recognize what they have is special and want to make the most of the time they have left. Brooke squints. That's kind of morbid, honey. Hope didn't mean it that way, and says she believes Carter will never let her down again. Brooke's glad one of them is finally figuring things out. I'm glad you finally found your footing, honey. They recap that she's back at Forrester and back with Carter. Brooke tells her she has a bright future ahead of her. Hope smiles, but flashes to telling Carter that Liam is dying. At Carter's loft, Daphne reacts to him telling her he's fallen in love again, with Hope. Daphne asks what happened to the things he overheard her saying to Liam. Carter says he misinterpreted it. I'm the man Hope wants to be with. I'm her future. She reminds him that he told her she was right all along. Daphne thinks she's making up excuses and trying to backpedal. Carter says he was wrong about what he heard. Daphne hates seeing him put his trust in Hope only to be hurt again. Carter believes in his future with Hope, and nothing and no one is going to come between them. Carter realizes this isn't what Daphne wants to hear. She can't comprehend this hold Hope has on him. Why would she say she wanted to be with Liam if she didn't mean them? She's sure Hope is manipulating Carter and will end up with Liam. Carter shakes his head. That's not the case. He hates that he's hurting Daphne. Under any other circumstances, it would be so easy for them. You're remarkable, you're special, but Hope's the one for me. He thanks her for being there for him and listening. She smiles. Of course. Daphne knows how deeply he cares about Hope. Au revoir, Carter Walton. With that, she walks out. Hope arrives at Carter's door and plants a huge kiss on him. She tells him her mother is incredibly happy for them. She's glad he didn't give up on them, or they'd never have made it to this place. Carter reiterates that he's all in on this. Hope is too. I believe in you. Every word you said. I know you won't let me down again. Alone in the main office, Ridge flashes through his recent romance with Taylor. At the same time, Taylor is in dressing room reminiscing as well, and looking forward to making more memories. Ridge then sits at his laptop and looks at photos from the fashion show, and remembers Brooke asking for a future together, and asking him to come home so she could be his Logan again. In the design office, Brooke thinks about Ridge and decides there's no way they're done with each other. She believes in their destiny. In the main office, Ridge closes his laptop and looks pensive. The bold and the beautiful spoilers are in for Monday, May 26, 2025. In the next episode, fans can expect Carter Walton to have some sort of grand romantic gesture for Hope Logan. Meanwhile, Deuce Stevens accompanies Daphne Rose as she flees town. Also, John Finnegan has a big request to ask of Liam Spencer. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the next episode of the CBS soap opera. In the next episode, fans will see Carter make a decision about his future. The COO already reunited with Hope, then had to break the news to Daphne. While the nose thinks about her shattered dreams, Carter will make a romantic gesture for Hope. Carter mentioned multiple times in the past few years that he's always wanted a family. A wife and kids, the whole works. Carter truly believes that Hope is the woman to make his dream come true. Meanwhile, Daphne is devastated over Carter's news. The nose doesn't understand it at all. Of course, there is some missing information here. For one thing, Daphne doesn't know that Hope only said those words to Liam because he's dying. It's not the kind of information that Daphne needs to know, either. Afterward, Daphne decides to go back to Paris. Daphne ends up getting a ride from Captain Deuce Stevens. I have to wonder if the pilot might convince Daphne not to give up so easily. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that Finn will meet up with Liam. The good doctor will have a special request for the patient. While Finn has gone along with Steffi Forrester Finnegan keeping Liam's secret, could things change? The doctor has seen what a heavy toll this is taking on Steffi. Now, Steffi won't release this toll unless Liam gives the go-ahead. So I could totally see Finn's request to Liam having to do with telling everyone the truth. As for what else to expect, Grace Buckingham gave Liam a risky option. Liam will have a big decision to make about whether to move forward with the procedure or not. While Liam wants more time with his daughters, this procedure comes with great risks, so stay tuned. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Monday, May 26, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. The bold and the beautiful spoilers heavily speculate there's a very good chance that Wyatt Spencer might be back sooner rather than later to this fictional town of Los Angeles. The character was last played by actor Darren Brooks. And while Wyatt did briefly return last year, he has been mostly off the canvas. But because Wyatt's brother Liam Spencer is dying of a brain tumor, there's a good chance fans will see him once again to say goodbye to his brother one last time. Or at least, that's what the hope is right now among the bold and the beautiful viewers. Liam has made it pretty clear that he does not want to seek any treatment and that his cancer is terminal, so it would only make sense for all of his family members to come together one more time to say goodbye to someone who has always been a loyal friend, son, brother, and father. It goes without saying that fans would absolutely love to see Darren Brooks back in the role. After all, he and Scott Clifton had great chemistry together as the Spencer brothers. Plus, Wyatt has always been there for his brother through the good times and the bad. He was also the one person that Liam could count on to give some sound advice when the going was getting tough. And now that Liam only has a couple of weeks left to live, it would be nice to see Wyatt come back and connect with the one and only brother he's ever known before it's too late. Here's hoping the writers of the show make it happen. Now, whether or not Wyatt Spencer actually does come back remains to be seen. So far, the producers of the soap have not made any comments about the matter just yet. Watch this space for more. The Bold and the Beautiful airs weekdays on the CBS network. Check your local listings for times. Also, let us know what you think of this story by leaving us a line in our comments section below. And as always, don't forget to check back with us for all the latest news on your favorite royals, along with spoilers from The Bold and the Beautiful, The Young and the Restless, General Hospital, and Days of Our Lives. The Bold and the Beautiful's Brooke Logan has been in the dumps since Ridge Forrester chose to stay with Taylor Hayes. However, it seems that Brooke is about to find out something exciting that will pull her out of this rut and give her something to look forward to. What is on the horizon for Brooke? Ridge has treated Brooke terribly since she took the CEO job at Forrester Creations, even though she was trying to get the company back to the Forresters. Of course, Eric Forrester was the only person who believed her. Ridge, the serial waffler, immediately ran to Taylor and never gave Brooke's reasoning a second thought. Brooke has tried to explain herself time and again. It has done her no good to plead to him. Brooke has grown more and more depressed over Ridge's actions. Brooke cannot hardly stand to work at Forrester Creations because of her sorrow over this relationship failure. However, it seems that Nick Marone is about to come home and Brooke may just love that. Ridge has been doing this to Brooke for years. However, Brooke has always believed that Ridge was her destiny. Perhaps it is time for Brooke to show Ridge that he is not the only man in the world. Will Brooke hook up with Ridge's half-brother, Nick, and show Ridge that there are some men out there who actually respect women and don't keep a spare in the closet? Ridge always keeps either Brooke or Taylor on the back burner to play them against each other. What will Ridge do when Brooke decides to stop waiting on him and move on? Is it time that Brooke puts herself first instead of waiting for Ridge to change his mind? Will Brooke ride off into the sunset with another man? Ridge is certainly going to pay attention if Brooke and Nick get together. Ridge is used to having Brooke waiting for him to return instead of putting a lot into a relationship to move one from him. Will Brooke's decision to move on with Nick be enough to make Ridge come to his senses, or will he continue to stay with Taylor and try to make this work? Ridge may even rush into marriage with Taylor because he wants to prove that he has done the right things. However, Ridge will eventually realize that Brooke is who he is meant to be with. Will Ridge and Brooke end up cheating before he breaks things off with Taylor, or have Brooke and Ridge found their new destinies? Was recently shocked to learn that Hope Logan has returned to Forrester Creations after being ousted by Steffi Forrester. Daphne was originally brought on board to create a signature fragrance, and also to help topple the coup by Hope and Carter Walton. Daphne managed to accomplish both, and she believed that with Hope out of the way, she would easily be able to seduce Carter. That has not been the case, though, because even with Hope away, Carter has been focused on winning her back rather than moving on. Falling for Carter was never part of the deal. It just sort of happened, and Daphne has made her feelings abundantly clear. They shared 2 kisses, and while Carter allowed them to happen, he hit the brakes on anything more happening. Daphne has allowed Carter to vent and share his heartbreak, believing that on the other side of it, there would be romance, but now that is looking pretty iffy. Finding out that Hope will be back in the office at Forrester Creations was the last thing that Daphne was expecting. It is also the catalyst to make her seriously consider returning to Paris for good. Ridge Forrester is equally stunned by Hope's return. She and Steffi have had bad blood for years, and he never expected his daughter to bring Hope back. Ridge knows that something major has to be the catalyst behind the decision, and he is also suspicious about whether or not Hope could be blackmailing Steffi. He sees Daphne, and they share mutual confusion over the situation. Daphne mentions that she is about to return to Paris, and it is Ridge who convinces her to stick around for a bit longer. As they talk, there are some sparks that make Daphne reconsider her future at Forrester. Ridge may currently be with Taylor Hayes and lusting after his ex, Brooke Logan, but Daphne still catches his interest. Could Ridge help Daphne to get over Carter? More importantly, could Daphne be the woman that pulls Ridge out of his decades-old triangle with Brooke and Taylor? The bold and the beautiful spoilers say that something just doesn't seem right here. That, or the writers of the soap missed a whole opportunity to take this storyline in a different direction. Of course, we're talking about Liam Spencer and his very aggressive brain tumor. By now you'd think that Liam would have tried some sort of treatment in order to make the tumor smaller, or at least stop it from growing and spreading, but that simply hasn't happened. And this has prompted a lot of the bold and the beautiful fans to wonder, what gives? Why isn't Liam trying to get radiation or at least chemotherapy, so that at least he can fight this cancer and live longer? Well, according to the latest The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, Dr. Grace Buckingham is going to offer Liam a risky treatment and cure, but whether or not it's actually going to work remains to be seen. Some have even commented with, "I think Liam will be cured. And sorry folks, but he belongs with Steffi, it is so obvious. Luna will not go away, and Finn will be seeing her and Steffi will leave Finn." Another fan wrote, "He will live but will affect his memory, and he will believe he is still married to Hope. He will lose the rest of his memory. Hope will go along with it because she does love him and will be so glad he is alive." And then there was this comment as well. "This treatment will save his life, but it may alter his personality. In other words, he's going to be an even bigger burden to everyone, and he'll demand 24/7 devotion and loyalty. Tell him to just give up already. It goes without saying that B&B fans will simply have to tune in each and every day to find out what will happen next. Watch this space for more. The Bold and the Beautiful airs weekdays on the CBS network. Check your local listings for times. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with B&B right now. Come back here often for the Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, news, and updates. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers document that Brooke Logan remains optimistic. Whenever Ridge Forrester is around, she often reminds him of their destiny. He's currently committed to Taylor Hayes, but devoted fans likely feel that Ridge will eventually return to the other love of his life. So why did the writing staff revive a dormant couple? Krista Allen did a fine job when she became the recast, assuming a role that Hunter Tylo made famous. But that actor opted not to return to the cast, and Allen took over. She brought a fresh take, with that addition of Taylor reviving her relationship with Ridge. At that point in the plot, he felt Brooke betrayed his trust, and the audience recalls Thomas Forrester framing his stepmother by using a fake audio recording. However, Taylor learned about Thomas' duplicity and didn't immediately relay that information to Ridge. That happened on the day Allen's version of Taylor and Ridge would remarry. The recast to Buddig came after Taylor was written out of town. The good doctor then needed to come to terms with Ridge's rejection and return to Brooke. After a measured amount of soap time passed, Ridge was exasperated by Brooke's drama. That storyline was believable, as Brooke's pattern of self-sabotage is accurate and well-known. Ridge's reconciliation with Taylor worked because he believed she was going to die and forced her to pursue help in various forms. Brooke's hold on Ridge waned, and Taylor won without firing a soapy shot, which offered a different take in these modern times. Daphne Rose is in a vastly different situation from Brooke. The man Daphne falls in love with, Carter Walton, is someone she's only known for months. Brooke's daughter, Hope Logan, told Carter the whole story about Liam Spencer, which is a difference maker and means that Hope and Carter's reconnection is legitimate. Yet, Hope's support of Liam is based on his assumed death. If Liam lives, Daphne's odds of being with Carter might improve. But if not, she must realize something dramatic to turn Carter's head. Hope and Carter are in love with each other, but Daphne's strong pull is one that St. Victor's character felt since she joined Forrester Creations. Carter learned the truth about Liam, which unscrambled his thoughts about Hope. But he doesn't know that Steffi Forrester Finnegan brought Daphne to town to split him from Hope. That reveal makes Daphne's odds of winning Carter's heart long. This site is a leading source for everything linked to the Bold and the Beautiful. Check back regularly for B&B spoilers and news. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for Friday, May 23, 2025, reveal good news for one woman and very bad news for another. Brooke Logan tried once again to get Ridge Forrester to listen to reason, but to no avail. He insists on staying with Taylor Hayes, even though she is sure he is her destiny. Another argument with Taylor leaves Brooke down in the dumps, but then Hope Logan comes to her with good news. She is back together with Carter Walton. Since Brooke lives her life vicariously through her daughter, this news comes at the best time. Brooke still can't believe how this week has gone for Hope. First, she was rehired at Forrester Creations and made amends with Steffi Forrester Finnegan, and now this. She feels things are looking up on all fronts. But will Hope bring Brooke back down to earth and tell her that Liam Spencer is dying? Life is too short to waste it with indecisiveness, but Ridge wouldn't know how to survive if he ever stuck to a decision. Daphne Rose was less than happy when she learned that Steffi had hired Hope back, and now she is about to find out why. Carter breaks the news to Daphne that he misunderstood everything he heard Hope say, and she is not back with Liam after all. Instead, Liam is dying, and she wants to be there for him during his last days. Daphne once again tries to warn Carter that Hope is no good for him and will break his heart, but Carter doesn't want to hear what Daphne has to say. Hope is the love of his life and came to him and wants to start again. Daphne needs to accept that, but she appears to want to do something rash. Will she give up on Carter or make Hope's life a living hell? Remy and Luna would make one powerful team. They could be the ones to break up Elektra and Will on The Bold and the Beautiful. But it's been a while since we've seen Remy on our screen. It's time for him to reunite with Luna. Remy was found to have made new deepfakes of Elektra. He would take the photos and leak them on the internet every time she rejected his advances, nearly causing her to lose her job at Forrester Creations. Katie received a deepfake from an anonymous email address. She should have known better than to download an email attachment from someone she doesn't know. However, she opened it and saw the lewd photos. Without questioning Elektra, she immediately fired her. Elektra didn't have a chance to explain her side of the story. She also made a mistake. What made matters worse is that Elektra didn't reveal that someone was stalking her online and sharing deep fakes. If she had been upfront, this situation would have turned out differently. Instead, the situation got out of control. Remy threatened to take Elektra away from Will. Thankfully, Will came to her rescue. He fought Remy, who was eventually taken into custody. But he got released from prison and crossed paths with Luna when she was staying at Bill's mansion. He used a different name to hide his past. It's time for Remy and Luna to meet up again. He should know about her connection to Sheila. Plus, he can also help her get who she wants, which is Will. Her seduction plot failed. Will kicked her out of Forrester Creations. So what's next for Luna? She needs someone who can break apart SC's golden couple. Remy could use his good boy charm to convince Elektra that he's the man she needs. She's not ready to sleep with Will, who keeps pressuring her. Remy could convince Elektra that he's the only one who understands her. He would do anything to be with her, even if that means he can't sleep with her. Elektra could feel safe and love the way she wants to. Meanwhile, Luna can finally seduce Will. Both Elektra and Will would get what they want out of a relationship. Luna and Remy also get a win in this. We'd love to see this plan in motion. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments section. The Bold and the Beautiful recap for May 23 saw Carter break Daphne Rose's heart, Hope bragging about her reclaimed happiness, and Taylor reminding Ridge just how easy love is. Daphne Rose suffered a devastating blow when Carter admitted he was in love again, with Hope. Daphne was fuming. Wasn't it just yesterday Carter was furious Hope wanted to get back with his ex? What changed? Carter explained it was all a big misunderstanding. Liam is Hope's past and he's Hope's future. The perfumer launched into a hate campaign against Hope and how untrustworthy she is. Carter shut her down though. Nothing, and no one, would come between him and his love ever again. Daphne Rose wasn't about to accept that. She warned him Hope was using him and it wouldn't work out. Carter shut that down too. And when he expressed his admiration and gratefulness for her, Daphne decided it was time to say goodbye. At the same time, Hope bragged to her mama about how great her life is going. She's back at the office and back with Carter. Brooke was elated. She was sure it would happen and was overjoyed to see how happy Hope is. It's just too bad Brooke's life isn't going as well as her daughter's. With that, Hope took her leave and ran right on over to Carter's loft. Across the hall, Taylor and Ridge basked in their love. Ridge commented on how much he was enjoying being with this version of Taylor. She was uncomplicated, sweet, and back to the woman he fell in love with. She's changed his life and shown him once again that love doesn't have to be drama. They reminisced about the past and all they've been though. The good, the bad, the drama. They've worked hard to get to this place. They've earned it and they deserve it. As far as Taylor's concerned, this is the best chapter of their lives. Later, after Taylor left, Ridge took a walk down memory lane, and thought about falling back in love with her before opening his computer and staring at the news article about him and Brooke, and reminding himself about all his greatest moments with her, too. Shocking revelations are in store for core characters. On the Friday, May 23 episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, Ridge seeks a mature love from a confident woman. Meanwhile, Daphne finds her way back to Paris, or so we think. You need to see what's happening today in Los Angeles. Ridge is enjoying this new side to Taylor. She's now confident and self-assured. He's pleasantly surprised by how she handled herself at the fashion show. Taylor got locked in the vault with Brooke, of all people, but they didn't get into a fight. Also, Taylor was cool with Brooke and Ridge's interaction during the showstopper. Or at least that's what she claims. We saw the way she acted backstage. She felt like a fish out of water. We also can't forget Taylor's reaction to Brooke and Ridge on the runway. But Taylor tells Ridge that he comes home to her at the end of the day. Ridge loves their drama-free relationship. Taylor is not constantly begging for Ridge's love, like Brooke is. He wants them to have a mature approach to love. Ridge wants someone he can grow old with and talk about love and life with. After Taylor left, Ridge's mind was hundreds of miles away once again. He couldn't help but think about his relationship with Brooke. What kind of relationship does Ridge really want? Meanwhile, Carter set the record straight with Daphne. He told her that Hope assured him that he was the only man she wanted. Carter knew the truth about Hope's situation with Liam, but he wasn't going to share that news with Daphne. The Parisian beauty didn't understand. She was convinced that Hope was only using him. Carter told Daphne that she was a very important person in his life. However, he felt that his future was with Hope. He hoped that she would understand since she had been there for him during the hardest times of his life. Daphne touched Carter's face as she sadly said, "Au revoir." Is she heading back to Paris, or will she stay to fight for her man? We're on the edge of our seats, waiting to see what happens next. Catch up with all the drama on B&B this week now on Paramount+.